Hello and welcome. My name is Emily. I'm a licensed acupuncturist in the states of New York and New Jersey, and I wanted to come on and share a few tips of acupressure points as well as essential oils to use when you're experiencing headaches or migraines. So for anybody new to my content or what I create, like I said, I'm a licensed acupuncturist, but I also work a lot with essential oils. I also have a background in energy healing, as well as I was a previous yoga instructor as well. So today I'm going to be showing you a couple acupressure points paired with an essential oil. I will be working with Peppermint Essential oil. And just as a caution about this, we are working with peppermint, which is really strong. So you either want to dilute it or use a very, very small amount. And then another note is that I primarily work with DoTerra essential oils because of their quality and the testing that they go through, but it's also food grade. So one of the biggest things I love to do if having a migraine is to actually ingest a little bit of the peppermint oil. So you just want to make sure that your whatever oil you're using, if you are using it, is food grade, if you're going to be doing the part about ingesting. So, and just a little background, I actually had migraines my whole life, starting from a very, very young age. So around the time I was 4 or 5 years old, I started to get really extreme migraines where I actually had to go through a number of tests to see what was wrong. What I think it was that I was very empathic to the situation around me. There was a lot happening. I was living in a volatile home environment. There was a lot going on with my family. And I think my system just couldn't process it, and it just manifested as migraine. So where I would literally have to be in a dark room, I would get nauseous, I couldn't hear any sound or light. I went for, I remember going for an MRI, like a brain scan or a CT scan or something when I was a kid. Because I remember wanting to listen to the Aladdin soundtrack while I was there. And, everything came back normal, but I was put on medication at the time. And I had these migraines pretty regularly as a child and through my adolescence. And they sort of came and went throughout my teenage years. I found different tips or tricks that would work for me, but mostly it was just I had to take some sort of pain reliever and then wait it out. Until I got into Chinese medicine and yoga and essential oils. So I can actually say, knock on wood, that I haven't had a migraine in years. Because of my lifestyle changes, because of where I'm at now. And again, all these things that I do on a regular basis that help prevent my body, on a physical level, what I believe to be spiritual level as well. So just showing up and taking care of myself that way. So one of the first things that I would do if I were to start to get a migraine, which again hasn't happened in a really long time, but it's something I recommend to my patients. If you have that food grade essential oil, you want to take a drop, put it on your finger, and you're going to go right to the roof of your mouth and press and hold there. And just holding that for a few moments. You're going to get that peppermint taste in your mouth. Obviously, make sure you wash your hands before doing that. I did that before I started this video. DoTerra also makes little beadlets, which you could pop into your mouth, but I find it's the pressure that you place onto the roof of your mouth that's really, really helpful. There's things we can go into about why that might work. I'm getting this taste as I'm talking, so it's really strong. And, what I think it is because the Ren and Duma meridians meet at they intersect in the mouth. So I think that could be one of the reasons, but I'm kind of just going to give you a broad over of just things that you can do and not go too much into why this or that, or there's definitely things that you could do more research, or if you wanted more information, you could definitely reach out to me about. So that's always one of the things I can go to. But in practice, a few of the great acupressure points that you can use for a headache or migraine. So again, you want to take a very small amount. We are going to be working around the eyes. So you want to be really careful not to get the peppermint oil in the eyes because it will burn. So this is where, if you want to, you could dilute the essential oil, whether that's in a carrier oil, or just use a very, very small amount. I've personally been working with these oils for a really long time. I know I can use them directly on my skin when applied in moderation. So again, I just use a very tiny drop. So I just put a little tiny drop on my index finger. I'm going to disperse it a little bit. And you're going to start right at this midpoint between the eyebrows. So you can start to massage here, apply a little pressure. Just start to really breathe in. And peppermint is a vasodilator, so it helps to open actually I have to double check that. What I feel is an opening of the pathways when I do this. So and then just start to massage outward into the eyebrow. You can hit this point right on the medial eyebrow. And you're going to follow along the eyebrow to the midpoint, so just right over the pupils, massaging here. And then you're going to trace it all the way to the outside, to the temple. You can massage here. You can play around with either counterclockwise or clockwise circles. See what feels good for you. You want to just apply gentle pressure here. This is a really tender spot. You might even need to add a little extra oil if you feel you need. But you should start to already feel this like cooling sensation on the brow. So just taking another moment here to massage the temples. And then you're gonna trace, you're gonna go back to the occipital bone. So about an inch to an inch and a half lateral to the midline. So the cervical, the vertebral column, so that spine, your spine. You're gonna just move out about an inch, inch and a half. You can feel that back protuberance, the occipital bone. You can also work your way from there and just kind of massage outward. So downward and outward in a lateral way. And you're gonna fall into these little dips. And just massage there. It should feel good. It should feel like a little achy, but good. You can also just like massage the neck too. You know, not working with a specific acupressure point, but you know, when there's a migraine, there's heat, there's this flushing going to the head. So we want to sort of like cool the whole system. It's also really nice to do if you're feeling like hot-headed, or you know, when it's really warm outside. If you're living somewhere where you're having a heat wave and you're trying to cool down fast, the best way to actually is to apply something cold, or something like a peppermint oil, something that's going to stimulate that coolness to the back of the neck. So you could just kind of like work your way and massage your way down from the back of the head into the cervical spine. And you can even put a little pressure at the tops of the shoulders, at the tops of the trapezius muscle. I'm pregnant right now, so I'm actually not going to apply pressure there because that's one of the points that's contraindicated while pregnant. But you can just massage this area. Again, reapplying if you need to. And then our last point is located on the hand. You're going to bring the thumb and the forefinger together, find that mound between them, and you're gonna find that end of the crease line and just hook in here and massage here. Again, this is a point that's contraindicated during pregnancy, so I'm not gonna personally stimulate it on myself, but what I want you to feel is for that little bruisey, deep, achy sensation and start to massage there. So this is a point that travels to the face, so it's really great to use as a distal point. So that means it's further away from the issue when, a distal point for headaches. And just make sure you massage both sides. So hopefully you'll start to feel this like cooling, draining sensation from the top of the head down. You can take a few deep breaths here. And whenever you're ready, you can linger on any of these points that you want. But when you feel complete, you can wrap it up. You can do this whenever you have a headache, in the moment or leading up to it. And then if you need to repeat it, you can. Again, you could also use it when you're just feeling like you're in your head, you're hot-headed. You could even use it when you have a cold or some congestion. So anytime you feel a lot of stuck energy up in your head and you want to drain, this is great to do. And if you have the peppermint oil, you can work with that, but you can still apply these pressure points without having the essential oil. But peppermint is pretty common. You can get it a lot of different places. Again, you just want to make sure if you're applying it directly, what the quality is, and then making your adjustments as needed. So if you have any questions, again, please feel free to reach out, and I hope this video helps support you the next time you have a headache.